It was a rip that opened up into this brilliant, ultra-real valley. And I remember ascending up into this valley, up into this brilliant greenery, lush with life, absolutely fertile. And I had no body awareness, but I was moving up through it because I was a speck on a butterfly wing. Now, this was not a butterfly like some entomologist here on Earth can give you genus and species. This was the real deal. And butterflies in that realm, just like we often have dragonflies, butterflies, and hummingbirds that are messengers from that realm, from souls of the departed loved ones. And there are thousands of stories out there. I'm sure there's some in this room about that very phenomenon. But in that realm, butterflies are far more powerful and amazing than they are in this realm. And I was a speck of awareness, and it turns out on this wing of this butterfly, this was one of millions of butterflies, and they were looping and swirling in this beautiful river of love and color and life beyond description. And I remember how we would dip down and go through that lush greenery, and there would be flowers and blossoms, buds on trees that would open up even as we flew by. I remember the rich textures and colors beyond the rainbow. And so beautiful. And in that beautiful valley, as we would come up and ascend above all that greenery, I could see that there were hundreds of souls dancing. And when I wrote it all up weeks later, as I came back to this world and was trying to record the whole experience, I described them as being dressed in peasant garb, very simple clothing, yet beautiful colors, and tremendous joy and merriment. And there were lots of children playing and dogs jumping, and it was just a wonderful festival. And it was all being fueled because up above, in the velvety black skies above, were pure spiritual beings, orbs of golden light, swooping and swirling in formation, leaving sparkling golden trails, emanating these hymns, chants, anthems, powerful like a tsunami wave, crescendo after crescendo after crescendo of the most beautiful music, waves washing through me. And that's what was fueling this incredible joy and mirth going on in this Gateway Valley, as I came to call it.
Infinite, no end. So powerful and so absorbing, wave after wave after wave.
And I became a light blue globe or orb of consciousness. I became this light blue ball, essentially. And I was facing a golden light. And this golden light is... People describe this love, and I use my own analogy to try to describe what it was like. And the closest thing I can come up with is all the love that ever was and all the love that ever will be for all eternity is being poured onto you in a single moment.
This is like no worldly or earthly love. This is like the love of the divine. It was so unconditional and so peaceful. And I'm just sitting there being like washed away in this flood of love.
Everything disappeared. It was like I had no body and no, there was a separation, there was a sense of self in it. But I felt like I was in a warm bath of love.
All I got instead was this, I'll call it a wave of unconditional love.
And we can literally feel a conscious love coming from everything in heaven, from the grass, the trees, the flowers, the water. You literally feel loved just existing near this. And you feel so loved. And I didn't feel worthy of that love. I had a lot of weaknesses, I still do. But I didn't feel worthy, but yet it was still poured upon me, despite my worth or value. It was just poured upon me through amazing grace and love from God, the Creator.
When I looked up, this is the incredible thing. When I looked up, it was if the sun that you see in the sky was in my room. And all of a sudden, this like wave of love, it just covered me. Like when you're in the ocean and the waves come and it's too high and it just covers you. Except imagine that love, that's love.
There wasn't really any goodbyes or anything, but I felt one last I love you from all those lights. And I say I love you, but I mean I felt a hug, a massive tsunami of I love yous. And then boom, I was back above my body, and they're performing brain surgery, and all those good feelings that I felt where I was are just gone instantly again when I'm above my body. Like whatever realm or whatever you want to call it that I was in above the ambulance and above my body watching surgery is the worst realm ever. Whatever you want to call it, I don't know, but it was horrible. But I watched that.
So we were there, and there was this river there. And Bob told me that the river is a place where you go in and the water makes you forget.
And then all of a sudden, at the doorway beside my daughter, this tunnel, like it was about a foot off the ground. It was perfectly round. It filled the doorway. It went up almost to the ceiling. It was like this ring, and there was like a 6-inch band around the ring, and it was like a flowing, almost like a liquid, like coming out of the tunnel and turning itself, like it was coming out and like it was keeping the tunnel open. And I looked at it, and as I looked, I could kind of see down, and it was like a wispy kind of white, kind of slowly turning, but at times, but I could see like through it at times, or I could see the wood paneling. And I looked way down it, and way up at the corner, I could see like a little white light, and I was dumbfounded. I was like, I was going to point to it and tell my wife, like, do you see that? But before I could even do that, something popped. I felt like a pop. And right in front of my eyes, and I don't know what to call this. I call it a shard, but it was like this triangle thing like this. And it was right in front of me, and it was rotating. It was paper thin. It looked solid. And it was reddish. It was like a rusty looking, but I could kind of see through it. And it was turning like this. And all of a sudden it shot towards the tunnel. And I looked at the tunnel, and and then there was like 20 or 30 of these things. And I assume they all came from me, these shards. And they all stopped at the tunnel, all at the same time, at the same distance. And they all hesitated for a second, and they're all at different angles. And then boom, they went into the tunnel all at once. The moment it went into the tunnel, I was like hooked up to this tunnel. I could feel this tunnel with every fiber of my body, every nerve, every cell was reacting to this. But that's not all. There was like, I could feel there was something inside this tunnel. There was something in there. I don't know what, I couldn't see it. I don't know what it was, but I could feel it, man. And it was doing something with those things, those shards or whatever.
Were you outside of your body at that point?
No, I was still in my body. There's at one point of this, I do go outside of my body, but not yet. I'm still sitting there at the edge of the bed. My wife looks frozen. My daughter looks frozen. I'm looking at this tunnel, and I can feel there's something inside, and it's doing something with those things that came out of me. And basically, it's basically, this is what I feel. It doesn't care who I am, what I am, if I'm male or female, what I did for a living, how much money I have in the bank, anything like that. All it cares about is, oh, this guy is human. I'm downloading all the information. It's my whole life. Everything is there. Every breath I took, every meal, every word I've spoken, it's downloading everything. And I'm just like I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm just in shock. And then it gets to like where all my emotions are. I can feel it. It's very interested, especially my negative emotions, my guilt, my shame, and not just that, but the good emotions. And then it's super interested in that. And I don't know why, but man, it feels like I can feel it. It's almost like it's swimming through these emotions, man. It's so interested. Like where all my emotions are. I can feel it. It's very interested, especially my negative emotions, my guilt, my shame, and not just that, but the good emotions. And then it's super interested in that. And I don't know why, but man, it feels like I can feel it. It's almost like it's swimming through these emotions, man. It's so interested. And then all of a sudden everything just goes really quiet in that tunnel. And I can feel something building up. And I can feel it, and it's coming towards me, man. And all of a sudden it bursts out of this tunnel, and immediately I am encircled in just a bubble of positive emotion, just every positive, every good emotion that you could imagine, amplified by 1,000. I'm just, oh man, I get like I to this day I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking of that feeling. And what's coming out of the tunnel is, I can't see it, but it feels like just like an avalanche of water just flowing over me, and I'm encased in this bubble of just goodness. And it looks like transparent, clear electricity, and it's just flowing out. And then the room everything became very still, and the room kind of darkened, and my daughter was no longer standing there, and my wife was no longer standing beside me. In my perception, I was still sitting on the bed. I was still in the bedroom, but there's something in the room with me, and it kind of scared me, because I kind of looked to my left and I got a glimpse of something spinning, and I really started getting scared. And the spinning continued, and as I looked over to my left, it was like almost like a door sliding open, except it was curved, like a corner shower door, those plastic ones that are curved and they open. And it opened, and there was like this white, static, calming, soothing light coming out. But I was just hit with this wall of intelligence, man. Just it gobsmacked me, man. It was just, the intelligence was just washing over me. And I was trying to figure out like how intelligent, like I've never encountered anything like that. And the intelligence was, I think it was like, I was trying to put a number on it. Like, is the IQ like 500, 1,000, 10,000? I think it was unlimited. After, and I thought about it, but at the time I was like, holy smokes, what the hell is this?